AC Milan beating Roma by 2-1. Let's welcome in, shall we, Jurgen Klinsmann and Gab Marcotti. Jurgen, what a brilliant game.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant game from both sides. I think the win is deserved for AC Milan. They played an excellent first 20 minutes, created chances, got 2 disallowed goals there, but they won the roll. Then Roma came more and more into the game, had a few chances themselves. And then obviously it was the penalty kick that opened up the score. I think it was a penalty. That's why we have VAR for and have another look at it. Then Roma comes back with a beautiful goal by Jordan Vertu, and they certainly, I think, the best player on the field made that second goal with Rebic. I think he had an outstanding game. Hopefully, his injury is not too serious now. He came off then. But I think it's well deserved by AC Milan. It keeps the title race going. It keeps it exciting. Overall, an excellent game by both teams.
What a statement from Milan, Gab.
Yeah, absolutely. People were doubting. People were pointing out, I think correctly, that it wasn't just the results that had dropped off. It's the performances that had dropped off. They're coming off Europa League where they kind of scraped by past Red Star Belgrade. And yet here they are against Roma, and I think especially those first 20 minutes out of the gate, that you knew they couldn't sustain it for the whole game, but they were smart about it. They peaked at the right times. They showed tremendous cohesion, and in the end, I think, as we saw there, a more than deserved 3 points.
Inter then remain 4 clear of AC Milan, into 10 of Juventus, who of course could only manage that 1-1 draw against Hellas Verona on Saturday. Jurgen, you look at Inter and you look at the success they're having at the moment, and you just look at Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, it all fits at the moment. It all fits. It helps, obviously, that they are not in European competition anymore. They don't play the Coppa Italia. So they can only focus on the championship, and they're doing that really well. Romelu Lukaku is playing maybe his season of his life in a certain way. He's enjoying himself. He's connected to everyone on the field. He's a great teammate. He lays the balls off if he need it, or he scores it himself. So overall, it's running really well for Inter. But AC Milan, as they proved today, they're still there.
Gab, with Inter earlier on in the season, it was a bit of a lottery. We didn't know what sort of side would turn up. What's changed?
I think what's changed is that he's found the right alternatives. He's always had that setup, that 3-5-2. But inevitably, I think when you're a manager, you try to say, all right, this is my best 11. This is how I would like the team to be, and then I'll make adjustments when I have to play in midweek. And I think he's had to rethink some things, because his original setup, earlier in the season, we saw people like Kolarov. We saw a lot more of Ashley Young. Christian Eriksen was tried out in attacking midfield. We saw a lot of Arturo Vidal. Now I think he has his midfield sorted. And Christian Eriksen is a part of that. Maybe not in every game, but in many games he's going to be a big part of that. And this is a player who Inter were trying to shift as recently as January. Equally on the wings, you don't have this imbalance where you've got Hakimi really attacking, running at players on one flank, and on the other side you're more defensive, because he decided that he was going to reinvent Perisic as a wingback. And again, this is after somebody who'd been pretty much kind of shoehorned into that, or he'd been pegged as oh no, Perisic is a winger, Perisic is a second striker, whatever. You realize those are just stupid labels. And he said, no, you can be my wingback. And Perisic said, okay, boss, how do I play wingback? And he learned the role. And so now you've got this wonderful balance of 2 attacking wingbacks in Perisic and Hakimi. You've got the back 3 sorted. Skriniar, he didn't feel he could necessarily play in a 3. There was talk of shifting him. Now he's settled into the back 3. And I think it's just a lot of work on the training ground, a lot of work putting in the hard hours, watching the players, helping them improve. And I think that's how he got it going. Will it last until the end of the season? I don't know, because I feel like so much of this team right now is dependent on Lukaku. And were something to happen to Lukaku, then you're looking at Alexis Sanchez, who's an entirely different player. But with a fit Lukaku, they're clearly favourites.
How much credit should Conte get for this, Jurgen?
Oh, he should get a lot of credit. Obviously, he put the pieces now together. It takes time. It takes also a lot of observation on the training field. So he put a lot of work in there. I think it's exciting to see Christian Eriksen in the lineup, in the starting 11. And what he's done with some youngsters is very impressive too. I look at Bastoni, is one of the biggest defender talents in Italy right now. I expect him to be in the European Championship this summer. Barella is the sensation of the year. So there's some young Italian special talent coming out through the Inter side, which is very exciting, especially for the Inter fans. And so he found the right balance. And obviously Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez, they found each other. They have a blind understanding by now. Perisic is playing his role, however it suits best to the team. Hakimi, outstanding. So it looks all very promising and looks all good. And definitely the advantage is, as we often mention, you don't have to run on 3 or 4 different weddings in a certain way, because you just can only focus now on the championship. You have no European football, you have no Coppa Italia. So it's all there for Inter to grab. It needs consistency. It needs a lot of hunger to go through the next couple of weeks. But I mean, it's exciting. You're 4 points clear and you have the big chance to finally win the big trophy again.
What percentage chance you give them of winning it, Gab?
Oh, I'm going to go maybe 65, 70% at this stage. I mean, I do think, Lukaku and Barella are 2 players who I think are really hard to replace. But then again, 4 points is a lot, and not playing midweek football is pretty huge, especially for Conte.
A lot more from...
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.